call the meeting to order. Roll call, we've got everybody here expecting Deb, or?
I think Deb, as far as I know, will show.
Okay.
Might be a little late today.
All right. There are no additions to the agenda, so I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Motion by Mark. Second by Bob. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve and correct minutes from the November 13, 2012 regular meeting. Motion by Gretchen.
Second.
Second by Luke. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Financial reports. We've got the October Treasurer's report and the October monthly balance sheet. Anything you'd like to point out, Bob?
I think there are a couple of negative ones there, but really there are a couple of unforeseen things. One, membership that we needed to pay for, but we'll make some adjustments to the budget. The other one that will continue to show up as a big negative is workman's comp piece. That will be divvied out once we get towards the end of the year to the areas that we need.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports.
Okay, motion by Dave.
Second.
Second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to audit and the approval of the bills. We've got additional October bills and November 2012 bills.
I had the opportunity this afternoon to go through the bills. I didn't see anything out of the norm for this time of the year, and what we've got a couple of more approved bills, but other than that, nothing stood out for me. So I make a recommendation to approve the additional October and the November bills.
Okay, there's a motion by Mark to approve the bills. Second. Second by Bob. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. No items under the consent agenda or under business, so we'll move on to personnel. Number one, review and consider approval of resignation of Caleb Curry, assistant girls basketball coach, effective November 9th, 2012.
Mr. Chair, if I could just add a little bit of information on both number one and number two. We have already hired to replace his positions. We did not want to make it look like we were hiring additional people, so we wanted to make sure that we got the resignations also on the board agenda, because we had approved these particular positions way back when, and they had decided not to coach quite a while ago. But we just wanted to be clear with the community. I think it does bring up on whether we will continue to approve coaching so far in advance. We may want just to wait, approve the coaching just before the season, so that we don't run into the situation where we're getting resignations well before the season starts, have to rehire. So we may decide to come to the board at certain specific board meetings before the season started. But that's why we ran into these two particular pieces.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Bob.
Second.
And second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number two, review and consider approval of resignation of Jessica Curry, 9th grade girls basketball coach, effective November 9th, 2012. Motion by Gretchen.
Second.
And second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number four, review and consider approval of the following Paynesville area targeted services teachers for the 2012-13 school year. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, I did. Number three, review and consider approval of Jessica Emming, assistant gymnastics coach for the 2012-2013 season.
So moved.
Motion by Lou.
Second.
Second by Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now number four, review and consider approval of the following Paynesville area targeted services teachers for the 2012-13 school year. Jennifer Wirtz and Kim Jones.
I think the only thing I would add is that this program does pay for itself, the teachers, so it's a good program, I would recommend.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Dave,
Second.
and a second by Gretchen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And number 5, the dates have changed from the that list on the agenda, but review and consider approval of Megan Leeser as long call sub for Amy Ellison from approximately November 26, 2012 through February 26, 2013.
Nothing to add, just a change in minutes.
So moved.
Okay, is that Bob? Motion by Bob,
Second.
and a second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That was quick, and we're on to our reports. Lou, West Central Ed meeting?
Let's see, we got 19, Monday. A lot of the time was consumed on what we had discussed during the work session. And other than that, we've went through the financial report. We've got, they authorized to enter into the audit service discussion to go with the same company that was KDV, and that was approved. And discuss the non-certified handbook. If anybody wants to look at it, I have a copy. That was approved. And we had a request for a leave of absence from Ms. Netfield, and they already found a substitute, suitable replacement for her. She's a school social worker serving out of the Melrose area. And, well, we went through that CV. And then Doug Milloway, he gave a ALC report. The new phone systems are up and running. And they had some security problems, so now they're adding some new cameras. And there were some dead spots, I guess, and they had a little problem with missing equipment. And let's see, the count at the ALC is 35, and they can handle 40, comfortably 40, but anything above that would be, probably need more help. And at the Beacon, there's 8 students, and they can probably handle 11, I think is what they said. And other than that, that's about it. Like I said, most of the conversation was on the plan that we had talked about in the work session. And 2.5 hours later, we adjourned.
Okay.
Lou, what was it that was there for part of the meeting? What was it, there was the fees that were there, going to keep the same because of the financials, or what was that about again?
The what?
The fees for the participants that are each district?
The fees were going to stay the same.
Right. Because of the, okay, that's what it was for?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Lou. District-wide staff development, staff, were you?
I was there. I think the only thing I would add is that I had frozen some funds that were carryover funds for staff development. I had frozen those funds. And then we also just okayed a few district staff development opportunities.
Okay. And then your admin report.
Yeah. I talked to the board before that we were looking at possibly figuring out how to do bloodborne pathogen training for the staff over the web. We did find a couple schools that do it that way, and Matt has set up a site for us to look at using. I don't think we'll necessarily use it this year. We've done most of the training for the bloodborne pathogen, but I think it would be very efficient for us to use in the future, where they can just go to a certain site, read and get the materials, take a quiz, that'll check them in with us so that we know that they've undergone the training. So I think it'll be a good thing in the end. Also, well, we had our administrative meeting, went over the school board agenda. We do need to start collecting some data. I think the thing that we're probably struggling with the most now is how we're going to kind of collate it, put it together to present it to the board. But we had some discussion about that at my administrative meeting. We also had some discussion at one of the nurses' meetings. It was recommended that we don't use crutches. The schools don't allow students to use our crutches because of liability factors and because of, or wheelchairs for that matter. I guess right now I'm not seeing a big issue as long as our crutches are up to date and of good quality. I think the one thing that we'll start to do is probably ask parents to sign a note just asking to use them. It's every once in a while that we run into it. We don't run into it very often, but sometimes a student sprains an ankle, football game, needs a crutch, doesn't necessarily have them at home. So we have allowed them to use them. I think we'll continue to do it, but really keep an eye on the quality that we have. We've been collecting some information for the special ed compliance report that we'll go through. They'll be coming to visit us. I think it's going to take place in April. So the administration and WCED have been collecting information. So we've been doing that. We also had a discussion about, I had a parent give me a phone call, and what they were wondering is that their particular student participates in performing arts. So you can, you know, if you run 3 or 4 events, or 3 or 4 performances, then they have to come in and pay for every performance. So the parent was wondering if there's any way that we could change that particular format. We did discuss it with administration. We're going to leave the format in place right now. Those are the fees that really pay for those performances. So I think it'd be very difficult for us to change that. Also, community ed does it the same way, and it's not a lot different from somebody going to multiple basketball games, where they see the same thing. So at least at this point, I'll be contacting the parent again and just saying at this point we're going to leave the fee system the way it is. I do understand where the parent is coming from though, because it does get to be, if you want to be there to support, but it can be costly to do it. But at least
Bob, what is the fee for that?
Trying to think of what I paid when I went in.
Oh, you mean this is to get into the place?
Just to get into the place.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not the fee
Okay.
to do that.
$6.
Yeah, well, it's $6 for adults and for
Yes,
students.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
I thought it was for.
no, it's
kids
not
to
the
participate.
fee for the students participate, sorry, the fee for the parents to get into the performance. So if you have a performance that's 3 times, they want to be there to support, so they're paying the fee 3 times. So we did have discussion about that, but at least at this point, our recommendation will be to leave it as is. We also talked about a request to send flyers home from a community event with students. They have not been doing that, and I'm in agreement with that. Once you start sending flyers home with students for one activity, you really need to follow through and send it home for anybody that really sends one, and there may certainly be some things that we're not in support of, and I would hate to get there. We do post them here at the high school in a few places, and at the elementary they also put them in the teacher's lounge. But at least at this point, we're not going to start sending those types of things home to students. So we had a discussion about that. Dates, I know that our new 3 board members are going to be going to the phase 1 and phase 2 training. I'm also going to be going that. Those dates are on December 14th and the 15th. We've got a legislative forum that I've sent information to the board on December 3rd, 7 o'clock at Melrose. Certainly if you can make it, that'd be great. If you're going to be able to attend, send me an email just so that I know, so that we can just make sure that we have name tags and everything set up for board members. There will be an issue coming down the road. I went to Max, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at our next meeting when he reports, but I did go to a meeting with him on the conference for athletics. One of the things that's starting to happen, there's a company in, I believe, Sauk Center that streams videos of games. So there's getting to be some major issues, and we're going to eventually have to look at a policy on how we're going to do that. The interesting thing that I found is that if one school, for instance, okays it, let's say that Sauk Center, just for instance, says it's okay and they're going to represent the school, then we wouldn't have the power to say that they can't come in and stream the game if we were playing Sauk Center. So I think we're going to have to come up with a policy that's going to deal with that. Certainly we have some concerns about it hurting our gate, and hurting attendance at games if we're going to stream them. At the same time, it is a benefit to the community if we do stream those events, so community members can watch them if they're not able to make the game, or they live out of state, or whatever else. So
You kind of do the same thing as the professionals, you know, if you don't get so much at the gate, you have to walk it.
I don't think we're going to go down that road.
Why wouldn't we have the authority to control what happens on our own?
It's kind of like a radio station. It's the same way with radio. If there's a radio station that is aligned to a particular school district, they have the right to come in and broadcast that piece, so it falls right in line with that.
Okay.
This is just new technology, the ability to be able to stream, but we do want to come up with a policy that deals with, they have to let us know a certain amount of days in advance so that we can set up for them. They set up in this area, so they just can't come in. I heard one time that a company went in and just virtually went in before anybody else got there, set up their equipment, where the coaches and everybody else sets up, and it became an issue. So we're going to want to develop a policy that deals with this well in advance of us running into this situation. But I think it's coming our way, and it could come our way fast. So just be aware that that's coming down the road. I have ridden on one of the school bus routes. I do intend to ride all the routes as we continue to go into the year. When I get a chance, it was interesting. I had a good conversation with the bus driver. Very interesting. I just found it amazing. Bus driver knew it was an elementary bus, knew every student's name, treated those students just in an excellent manner as far as I'm concerned. So I thought it was just a great experience for me, and I thought the bus company really did do a good job. But I do intend to ride all the bus routes this year. I thought parent-teacher conferences went well. We thank the board for the treats that they had. Just excellent things in all of them. I think we talked a little bit about, I think Lori might have given you a handout just on some information about U of M's looking at adding the possibility of at least needing a 4th math class in order to get there. I think we're not too concerned. There's an economic class that we think would fit into that bill, but it'll be interesting as the colleges say you need more and more requirements in order to get into the college. So I think that'll be an adventure, and we'll have to look at that as we continue to look at our programming for our students. That's what I got.
Okay. Is there anything else?
I just wanted to mention that, I forgot to mention that the next meeting, West Central Ed, is January 21st, and it's here in Paynesville.
If there's nothing else.
Live from Paynesville High School, this is BNC TV, your Bulldog news station.
Good morning, Paynesville. I'm Maggie Gilmore.
And I'm Chelsea Jansen, and this is BNC TV. Welcome to our November 20th episode.
We hope you enjoyed our last show. Please email your comments and story suggestions to bnctvnews@gmail.com. Your input is greatly appreciated.
Our very own robotics team, the Avengers, placed 3rd in their most recent competition, which qualified them for the Best Regional Robotics Championship, which will be held at North Dakota State University from December 6th to the 8th. Nicole Hislop has more now.
I'm Nicole Hislop with Mr. Thompson and the robotics team.
Here we've been doing a thing called Best Robotics, which is boosting engineering and through science and technology. We started August 8th, picked up some materials, all the VEX materials. Kenny Olson and I went up to New London, picked up all this stuff, and then on September 15th we kind of started, and we've been meeting 2 or 3 times, maybe even every day of the week, sometimes on the weekends still.
What are you currently working on?
Well, we got a little robot. Do one of you want to tell about it?
Well, the robot has to climb up that beam right there, and it uses this gear to put the points in between the slots on the pole.
Goes right in there. Locks in. Actually, I have it backwards. Okay. Yep. Goes up about a 10-foot pole, and it has to bring simulated
solar panels.
Solar panels. What else?
A T-structure.
Some wiffle balls.
Wiffle balls, softballs.
Up to the top.
We get 2 points for going up to the top, 1 point for coming down, 6 points for the solar panels, 1 point for a ball,
And it all has to be done in 3 minutes.
3 minutes. We get 3 minutes is all.
Okay, the theme of the BEST program is that we have to create a simulation of the space elevator with a robot. That's what our robot is. And the space elevator originally came from a book called The Fountains of Paradise, written by Arthur C. Clarke in 1978. And the space elevator would have to be built by buckyballs and nanotubes. And the Japanese think that they're going to have the space elevator built by 2050.
I'm Nicole Hyslop with the Paynesville Avengers. Back to you in the studio.
The votes have been counted and the election is over. Our political correspondent, Jacob Bertram, is with us now with the local results.
Hi, I'm Jacob Bertram. This year's election results are as follows. For City Council, Donovan Mayer and Kay McDaniel. For Mayor, Jeff Thompson. New Hospital Board member, Jerry Quaid. Our state representative is Jeff Howe. For Senator, Michelle Fischbach. Our Congressman, Colin Peterson. Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, and President Barack Obama. The Paynesville School levy passed by 60%. New school board members are Kel Bugby, Bruce Vanderpool, and Cheryl Velkamp. Good luck to our newly elected officials. Back to you.
Thanks, Jacob. November 8th and 9th, the high school held their fall production of Mousetrap. Mousetrap was written by Agatha Christie and is one of the most famous plays in history. It has run continuously since opening in 1952 and over 24,500 performances.
The weather is simply terrible. My taxi gave a venture gate. No sporting instinct wouldn't attempt to drive. Are you Mr. Ralston? How delightful. My name's Brian.
How do you do, Mr. Wren?
You know, you're not as old like I pictured you to be. I've been thinking of you as a retired general's widow, Indian Army. I've also pictured you as being terrifically grim and memsaheebish, and that the whole place would simply be crammed full of Bernard's morass. But instead, it's heavenly. Oh.
And the day the bull chased us across the field, and the dogs.
Dogs?
Yes, Spot and Plain.
Kathy?
Yes, Kathy. Thought I could have saved the boy.
Why didn't you tell me?
I wanted to forget, Jack.
Soup, Sandwich, and Song was held on November 9th. It's a fundraiser that is held every other year. There are solos and ensembles, and our choir had a theme of Rockin' America this year. We also held a silent auction and dinner, which also helps fundraise for our choir trip to Disney World. Mrs. Bunyan puts a lot of time and effort into the program, and we would like to stop and thank her.
I am dying every day waiting for you, darling, don't be afraid, I have loved you. But you played it, you played it, you played it, played it to the beats in the sky. So don't you ever go, don't you ever grow, just say this widow. Oh, darling, don't you ever go, don't you ever grow.
Promise Butler, an 8th grade all-conference runner, competed at the state cross-country meet in Northfield on November 3rd. She was the 8th overall 8th grader out of the entire state of Minnesota. Sophie Strand is with her now.
Sophie Strand for BNC TV News with Promise Butler, who just came back from cross-country. What did you get?
I got 107th place out of 176 runners.
Where did you go to run?
I got to go to St. Olaf College. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but it was a lot of fun.
What did you like best about it?
I got to run with a lot of kids, and well, not kids, but like people, and it was a challenge for me, and I'm looking forward to doing it next year.
I'm Sophie Strand, reporting for BNC News with Promise Butler. Thanks.
Thanks, Sophie. The 6th grade history class participated in an ancient Egypt project. They made pyramids out of sugar cubes and mummies out of Barbie dolls.
The high school held their annual Veterans Day program on Monday, November 12th. Thank you, veterans, for all your sacrifices.
For having me here today. This is quite the program you guys are putting on. I don't know of too many other local high schools or communities that put on such a program. DVDs, the work that the kids put into it, the ceiling panels, just the band, all the effort that went into it. Greatly appreciate it. It means a lot.
That's all the time we have for this episode of BNC TV. Remember that you can view this episode and all our past episodes, as well as many other district videos, such as the High School Veterans Day program in its entirety, are on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paynesville Studios.
All of us here at BNC want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. We all have so much to be thankful for. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Paynesville. I'm Maggie Gilmore.
And I'm Chelsea Jansen. From all of us here at BNC TV, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.